Hello everyone, it's Friday, but instead of doing our story makers today, we are going to make a story, but we're going to think about Jack and the Beanstalk and how we could change that. So I've started off, so we've got, in Jack and the Beanstalk, it's a little boy called Jack, isn't it? So do we want to keep with a boy and maybe call him John or Billy? Or do we want a little girl this time so that it's completely different? Yeah, I was thinking that as well. So we've got Jill or Jenny. I thought we'd stick with the J sound. What do you think? Jill? Jenny? Jenny? You want Jenny? Right. Okay, so because it's a fairy tale, it's not another story. It's a traditional tale or a fairy tale. We're going to start off with Once Upon a Time. So I'm going to write that down. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Jenny. So she's her character, isn't she? So once upon a time, there was a little girl called Jenny. Now, who did Jenny live with, do you think? Is she going to live with her mum, like Jack? Or is she going to live with her dad? She could even live with her grandma. What do you think? You want her to live with her grandma? Right, okay then. So once upon a time, there was a little girl called Jenny. She lived with her grandma. It's another character in the story. Okay, so let's read back what we've written so far. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Jenny. She lived with her grandma. Now, we don't want a cow to go to market because that's what Jack had. So we could have a pig, a hen, a sheep or a goat. What do you think she should take to market? You want a sheep? I like woolly sheep. I can just see Jenny taking a nice little woolly sheep for a walk down the road to the market. Okay, so let's put that into our story then. So let's read back what we've written so far. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Jenny. She lived with her grandma. One day, Grandma told Jenny to take the sheep to market. Full stop. On the way, Jenny, who would she meet, do you think? Who would she meet? Old man, old lady, little boy. What do you think? Maybe a little boy? Okay. So on the way, Jenny met a little boy who gave her. Oh, now, what's he going to give We don't want magic beans, do we? Because that's what Jack had. So I came up with some thoughts. I thought we could have magic carrot tops, magic orange pips or seeds, or magic apple pips, or magic apples. Maybe the apples had gone rotten by the time they got home and that's why they got thrown out the window. So maybe it was magic apples. So let's read back what we've written so we can write some more. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Jenny. She lived with her grandma. One day, Grandma told Jenny to take the sheep to market. On the way, Jenny met a little boy who gave her some magic apples in exchange for the sheep. Full stop. Now, what do you think Mum's going to say when Jenny gets home with those apples? Especially if they've gone rotten. Would you want rotten apples? No. So, let's read it back. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Jenny. She lived with her grandma. One day, Grandma told Jenny to take the sheep to market. On the way, Jenny met a little boy who gave her some magic apples in exchange for the sheep. Jenny's mum was so cross. She threw the rotten apples out of the window. So they're going to grow overnight, just like in Jack's story with the magic beans. In the morning. Probably should have put the next morning, but never mind. In the morning, Jenny was... How do you think she'd be feeling if she opened the door and saw a tree, an apple tree that was so big that it disappeared into the clouds? How would you feel if you saw that? Would you be scared? Surprised? Like, wow, look at that. I think she was surprised. In the morning, Jenny was surprised to see a huge apple tree. That disappeared into the clouds. Right, do you know what? I'm actually going to leave it there because I would like you to finish off the story. Do you think you could do that for me? So I had some ideas. What will be at the very top of the apple tree when she climbs it? What will she find? Will she find a giant, just like Jack? Will she find an ogre? Will she find a troll? Maybe a pixie or a dwarf? I want you to come up with an idea of what she might find at the top of the apple tree when she climbs it. And where does that character live? Is it a castle? Is it a swamp? Is it a forest? Is it a toadstool? And what is it that they say? Now, I did have a thought about this one. I think whatever character you choose could say, hee, hi, ho, hum, I smell the scent of something yum. We can put that in the story. And what is it that Jenny takes back to her home? See if you can finish that story for me. And you can draw a picture and get mum or dad or your big brother or your big sister to help you with the story. You tell it, they can write it, okay? And I look forward to seeing what you can come up with. Don't forget to put everything on Evidence Me for me. And I look forward to seeing it. Now have a good week. Don't forget to be good. Behave for your parents. Miss you all. Mwah. Bye.